Don, let's talk about the game winner first then. Good rebounders always talk about having a nose for the ball, about anticipating. What were your thoughts being prepared for that offensive board?
I just knew, regardless, because maybe just from past experience from watching being at the Notre Dame game, also like just being in position off a shot, and we really practiced like tip and drill. So shout out to Coach Essendon, So yeah, do a lot of tip and drills, and just pretty much like I saw the guy like jump early, so I knew I had the extra I had the advantage to get that tip in.
You guys knew going in the boards were going to be important. They are every game, but you go up against some pretty good sized players in their front line. Do you feel you guys did a pretty good job on the boards tonight?
No, not at all. I feel like that's one of the main things that we're struggling on right now. It's just like it's kind of like you can teach rebounding, but you have to have it in you as well. Like I just feel like we're not having that effort to like box out and just get the rebounds. That's the thing we have to really work on going back into GNAC, because we'll get killed if we don't do that.
Sounds like a little bit of frustration,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you get this holiday stretch a little bit and another non-conference game to work on some of those things too.
Yeah, so the good thing about that is, like you said, it's non-conference, so we get to learn and have 2 back-to-back games. So just hopefully lead to get 2-0, so we can be at least like head into 2019 with some wins, so we can get a little mojo back into our step going into conference play.
How about for you personally? I mean, you're still getting used to teammates, getting used to a system. What are some areas that you feel you need to continue to work on as you get ready for going back to conference?
I think the thing I need to work on the most is on-ball defending, reading screens, like hedging out, just being a really better on-ball defender. Because I feel like that's what I'm really lacking at. That's like my Achilles heel right now.
Do you feel you guys did a little bit of job in some of the hedge positions as opposed to the way you had some last week with Simon Fraser?
Yes, there's definitely more improvement from that. I could tell more like speaking on bigs, like there's more communication, and it wasn't like a lot of like times where we would like collide and get confused. It was more like we were more verbal on the communication.
Hunter, good to see the growth there, but how about some growth for you personally? You're starting to kind of round into making more contributions on the offensive end, getting more point totals.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it comes down to just offense. I think there's a lot more things I can do. I think I can be a better presence defensively. That's one of the things I want to work on, is just being a better defender. Rebounding, I'm trying to learn from this guy.
It's a good role model to have.
It is. Yeah, it is. But yeah, there's a lot more aspects of my game I got to work on.
Coach preaches defense. I mean, the foundation of everything is on defense. What do you guys do in practice and in these last non-conference games to get ready for January?
Well, we treat every game the same, but I mean, we do put a big emphasis on defense, screening, and rebounding. I don't think tonight we did our best job in those categories, but we have a big week of practice ahead, so some stuff to work on.
Still, it's got to be a little bit of relief to have a buzzer beater and to have a buzzer go your way instead of the other way.
Yeah. That was a good feeling. I don't know if it should have been that close, but shout out to this guy.
We'll take what we can get. Right now we're 2-1 against buzzer beaters. So
yeah, get W's where you can.
Gotta take the positives.
Before we wrap up, if each of you would share a little bit of perspective, you're going into finals week, and about how that really calls that dual nature again of the scholar athlete into play, especially here at Concordia.
Oh, that's when it just comes down to time management. Like you gotta be on top of your grades most importantly, because if you can't get that taken care of, you can't touch the floor. So I just try to take pride in that. I try to be the best player I can be and the best student I can be.
Hunter, how about for you?
No excuses. You know, you can complain about, oh, I have such a hard schedule or hard tests, but I mean, you got to take care of your work. So
there's no excuse that we can't do it just because we're athletes. We gotta still take care of it. Absolutely. This is the bump. This is the advantage to get to play. So.
Awesome, you two. Nice job.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate the time. Thanks for being patient.
Thank you.
Brad, a good feeling after a week ago losing one in the final second to come up with the W here. You've had a couple putback wins now this season that have been key results for you.
Well, you know, obviously, Todd, we're happy that, you know, we got the win, but you know, we're a little disappointed with how we played tonight, and we talked to the team about that. You know, 10-point lead at halftime, and felt like we could stretch that, and we weren't able to. And you know, listen, give a lot of credit to Northwest, Coach Drinkwine. You know, and they're shorthanded, and you know, I thought they played really well, especially in the second half, made some big plays, and I thought we got a little bit passive offensively. You know, struggled to knock some shots down. I thought we got some good looks, and we made some calls for some of our, you know, our best offensive players, and we just didn't knock some things down. But you know, part of our concern is our inability to, you know, be consistent in our defensive execution and effort, and you know, that's something that we've really been working on, and we talked about it tonight at the end of the game about, you know, defensive consistency and execution. You know, we came out of a timeout, talked about not giving up a three and exactly what we're supposed to do there, and we had a missed assignment, and that was with my three senior guards who were in the game. You know, and so that's just something that should not happen. And you know, the good thing is that, you know, they know, and you know, they're resolving to get better at it.
Yeah, things that can be corrected. That's a good thing too. Anybody that's been around a game for a while knows that there are runs for each team, and that was a situation. You guys played well in the first half from an offensive statistical standpoint, only to not have it go so well in the second, and they shot lots out, and they had some good backdoor cuts and looks.
They did. No, they're you know, having been, you know, in the Cascade Collegiate Conference for so many years, I knew this was going to be a tough game, and you know, there's not a big difference between the Cascade Conference and the GNAC. Yeah. And I say that with full conviction of, you know, having been a part of that conference, you know, for a long time. Our last year in the Cascade Conference, you know, we went up to Alaska, Anchorage, beat them back to back, and they finished second in the GNAC that year. You know, so, and you know, we won the you know, the Cascade Conference that year, but that's, you know, that speaks to it. And so, you know, I'm happy to play those teams because I think it's good for us. You know, it's an exhibition game for them, but you know, it counts for us. And so, you know, it's good to get the win, and we're heading into finals now, and you know, excited for, you know, our guys to focus in on that. We'll take a couple of days off from practice, and then we'll gear up for you know, 2 more games, one encounter and one an exhibition. You know, Trinity Western, coached by Aaron Muick, who longtime friend and former coach at Warner Pacific College. And he still has family in the Portland area, so it worked out well for them to come down and play us right before Christmas.
One of the things going into this was an emphasis on some of their big men. They had some pretty decent size, a guy averaging a double-double to lead them. One of the little things that won't show up unless you really pour into the box score, I thought, was, especially in the first half, the contributions of Dakota Ayala and Mikhail Williams. Some points from the post position, but also some defense and boards.
I'm super excited about, you know, both Mikhail and Dakota, because Mikhail's a freshman, true freshman. Dakota is a third-year sophomore, had a redshirt year. He's had, you know, a couple of ACLs actually, which you can't tell. He's really played well through it. But I'm really excited about, you know, the progression of Mikhail and the progression of Dakota. You know, I think they're both going to be really, really good as the season keeps going on, and they keep getting better.
It was a learning opportunity tonight, non-conference game, and you know, a few weeks away from getting back to GNAC play, but some important lessons for some of your players tonight.
No question. You know, basketball is such a great, you know, lesson for young men, and, you know, young women too, to learn about, you know, how to compete in adversity. And you know, I'm proud of our guys because they continue to stay together. They continue to work hard. I think we need to be more consistent in our efforts, and certainly in our execution. You know, and as a head coach, I need to demand that and make sure that we do that. But you know, I'm proud of our guys, and I think they represent the university, you know, really well. And you know, I told them, you know, at the end of the game tonight, when we finished our talk, you know, how much I loved them and cared about them, and I'm proud to be associated with them. And I think, you know, young people need to be reminded of that, and we don't do that enough, you know, because I expect a lot, and we want them to do well, but you also, at the end of the day, they need to know you care about them, and you know, when people know that, they're going to work hard and be successful.
You get an opportunity with that during this 10-day window till your next game that you mentioned a moment ago. It's that combination now of finals and practice. And how do you treat that and the learning opportunities now that you have in those practices for 10 days?
Yeah, so we'll take 2 days off, and you know, the good thing is a lot of our guys, excuse me, will be pretty well through finals when we resume practice on Wednesday. So, you know, we'll go, you know, a little bit lighter on Wednesday. The challenge for us is we have to practice off campus because we have our winter commencement. So we're very fortunate. Multnomah University has been so kind to us and allowed us to practice over there. So Coach Kelly and I will go over there while the gym's being set up. But that's actually a good thing, because it gives us a chance to get off campus and, you know, get away from, you know, the finals and you know, do something. So it's actually worked really well, and I think, and that's how we, you know, we sell it to our guys. Hey, you know, let's get off campus and, you know, reinvigorate ourselves a bit, and, you know, certainly that's what we'll do.